Alright, we're going to do a quick tutorial today on some free on-page SEO software that you can use at home and just use to give you some great pointers on how to get your website optimized and better ready for great search engine results. And the software is My On-Page SEO. The URL is myonpageseo.com. And we will go ahead and just jump right in here. Alright, so the website that we're going to be analyzing for this demo is a Mexican restaurant in Denver, Colorado. It's CasaBonitaDenver.com is the name of the restaurant. And the keyword that we're going to be analyzing is Denver Mexican restaurant, and that's just the primary keyword that we've chosen for the website. And so when you're going through this tool, you're going to have to do the same thing. You're going to have to pick out one keyword, one primary keyword to look for this, and it's not going, just the nature of the software, it's not going to analyze different variations of that keyword. So for example, it's not going to detect Mexican restaurant in Denver or anything other than the exact usage of Denver Mexican restaurant in that order. So you'll have to use it as a suggestion. You know, it's software. It's not going to know everything. It's not really going to know everything about your goals and everything about your website. But it is a good tool to just run your website through, and it's free. You know, it doesn't even ask for any information or anything. So just click check my webpage. That's all you do, and just like that, you're ready to go. And it's got some different categories here that you can go through. If it's blue, if it shows up in blue, that means according to it, it thinks you're doing great in that area. If it's red, then according to the software, it thinks you've got room for improvement. And again, take this as just a means of suggestions. It's not necessarily the hard and fast of it. Just use this as a suggestion and as a guide to go by as some ways to improve your on-page SEO. And so what we're going to do today is just sort of run through these really quick. We're not going to take a lot of time to sort of describe what, really go into a deep explanation on what H1 tags or keyword density and those different types of things are. If you're not familiar with those, feel free to check out our blog. We've got some great information, or just do a quick Google search for it. But the first two things it looks at here is your page title and your meta description. You've got to have your keyword title in both of those. If you'll notice in this website, it does not have, at least it doesn't have that variation of the keyword in the meta description. You've got to have that in there, and in your page title as well, for two reasons. I mean, obviously, search engines are picking this up. That describes your content to your search engines. But also, when your users are doing a search in your search engine, and they look at your search result, those actually come up to the user. That's actually going to be what they're seeing about your website. So you've got to have those accurate, and you've got to use the right keywords in there. Very important. H1 tag. This is the primary header for your web page. You only need to have one. You really only need one H1 tag, and it's got to be specific. Don't use these general headers. Describe your content. Use the keyword. Use your primary keyword in your H1 tag, or at least some variation of it. That's so important. And again, your H2 and H3 tags. And H4 tags, you don't see those as much, but these are great ways to really describe your sub content. If you've got a long page of text, it's really hard for the user to not get lost in that. So that it gives the user a great way to understand and digest your content, and also it's just awesome for search engines to really be able to detect what different types of content you're talking about, or what different types of topics you're discussing in your content. And this is obvious right here, but you've got to be using your keywords in the body of your text in your homepage, or in your homepage, or any page that you're really trying to focus on content for. And they're not doing that on this website, and they're doing some things right, but in this respect, they really need to have more content on the homepage. And keyword density is that's essentially what it's talking about, is what's the ratio that you're using your primary keyword in relation to the rest of your text on your homepage. And it says keep it between 2% and 8%. Keyword density is sort of a big topic in it. It's sort of a topic within itself. And I tell people, don't get too caught up in this, in the keyword density topic. Make sure you're writing your content natural. Make sure you're using your placement of your keywords in a natural way. If you adopt that content, if you adopt that rule for your content in general, you're going to do great. You're going to have a good content strategy, and you're going to be creating content that's reader friendly and that people enjoy. And that's our primary goal of creating content. So keep keyword density in the back of your mind. And the same thing with keyword stuffing. This is the same thing. If you're not using your keywords naturally, that's when this is going to show up and say, well, you might want to take a look at that. And again, it's just a suggestion. Bold tags versus strong tags. Just don't use bold tags, use strong tags. That's pretty much as simple as that. Bold tags are sort of an old method of doing the same thing. Strong tags is sort of the newer method. So use that method. Alt tags, same as H1 tags. You've got to be using these, and you've got to be using them wisely. Alt tags, it's the only way search engines really have of knowing what your images are about. So you've got to be really describing the image, and really describing, really using your keyword in there. Don't use picture 1, picture 2, picture 3. Really be conscious about what your alt tags say. Canonical, if you're not familiar with what canonical tags is and what the canonical issues are in website, you might want to Google that. But more or less, it is just a way of telling Google that your different variations of a web page are all the same. If you've got for example, Google thinks www.yourdomain.com is different than just domain.com/index.php or whatever, and this just clears that up for the website. And if you're using a CMS, WordPress, or anything like that, this is probably taken care of for you. Keep it in the back of your mind, and just look at it if you use this software. And obviously make sure it's visible to search engines. If you've got a robot.txt file in there, or this meta index tag, just be aware of that. That's probably not the case, especially if you're using a content management system like WordPress, which I recommend WordPress. But you're probably fine there, but keep it in the back of your mind. And both of these are just graphs, neat little graphs to show you where your content, how your content is doing, how we're at on the page it's at. So check those out. It definitely should be showing up here. So this website's got some room for improvement, but all in all, it's this is some neat software to use. So thanks for checking us out. Feel free to take a look at our website or blog at MarketVase.com. And thanks for joining. We'll talk to you later.